Hi guys, I'm back with what we read in our homeschool for the first half of December 2018. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I thought about doing it this way because I think it's better for you guys to see the books and the illustrations, because some of the books towards the end have beautiful illustrations that I really want to share with you. So the first book that we read was Pigs Might Fly. I absolutely, and Matthew as well, absolutely love this book. The story was amazing. What we got out of this book is that what we see as a defect or a disability is actually your greatest attribute, and it actually can work for you and not against you. I don't really want to talk too much about the book as far as what the disability or defect is regarding the main character, which is Daggy Dogfoot here. But it's a beautiful book about overcoming your fears and your beliefs, and at the end just proving everybody wrong and being the hero at the end of the day, because you believed in yourself and others believed in you as well. Really love this book. It was a great read aloud. We thoroughly enjoyed it, and we highly recommend it as a read aloud for you to read to your children or for them to read to themselves. But I really thought it was a great book for a read aloud, and we really enjoyed it. The second book that was read in our homeschool, and these two, and I've talked about this series before, are the Babysitter's Club graphic novels, and this one is Dawn and the Impossible 3. Matthew read this on his own. Sometimes I'll ask him to tell me what he's read. I didn't do that for this book because I really wanted to have him read it at his own pace, and if he wanted to finish it in a day, he could. If not, then that's fine. But he really loves this series. Highly recommend it for those who may be struggling in reading and like the graphic novel format. But he thinks these books are hilarious. I really didn't think he would, because I mean, it's about girls and the Babysitter's Club, and but just the whole family aspect and how these teenagers work together and actually starting a business, and how they're going to spend the money, and just the relationships between the girls and the children that they babysit. It's just simply hilarious, and he really loves these books. So the one book that he hasn't read is called Sisters, from the author. This one actually is not from Raina Telgemeier, because this is written by Gail Galligan, but he still really liked it. But yeah, really give these books a try, and don't limit your children, especially boys, of reading things that they really want to read, when you would naturally want to say, no, that's for a girl or whatnot. I really like to let Matthew pick out his books, and he really enjoys this series. And I love hearing him giggle when he's reading this, so it's definitely a good book to read. And then he also read The Babysitter's Club, Marianne Saves the Day. He didn't think he was going to like this, only because it's black and white illustrations, but he really liked this, and he finished this one in about 2 days because he was reading the other one as well. But definitely worth picking up to let your kids read if you have these at the library. So that's what he read. The one thing that he did read, and he read it to me because I don't think I've ever discussed this before, but at the age of 2, Matthew was diagnosed with childhood apraxia, and basically his vocabulary or his pronunciation of words doesn't rightly click in his brain. So he has a hard time pronunciating certain words, especially right now. He's been in therapy speech therapy since he's been at the age of 3. But for the last 2 years, they didn't feel like he needed it. But he still struggles with the word R, or any words with the word R in it. So like the word word, he would say word. So I like for him to read stuff to me out loud. So this was a read aloud, but it was him reading to me. And because he's trying to teach me Minecraft, this was the perfect book. So this is the Minecraft Guide to Combat. It's an unofficial guide. Really highly recommend this, because especially for those who are like me, where I just want to play a game like Pac-Man or Donkey Kong, those are the games I grew up with. These have a whole different meaning of video games for me. It's just too much work. I just really like to play games that, you know, you can just play and whatnot. I'm not naturally drawn to games where you have to think and figure out, and like the games they are now. I really do recommend those kind of games because it really makes them think, but my brain doesn't really enjoy games like that just because of the games that I grew up on. So every day he read a chapter, and he explained things to me, and there were some things in here that he didn't even know, but it was a great read aloud. There's only 4 chapters, and like I said, this is a great beginner's guide for those of us, or even a small child who's getting into Minecraft, to learn about. So he read that. I really highly recommend this if you're trying to figure out Minecraft, or your kids are trying to figure out Minecraft. And I apologize if I get the book off screen. This is a new way of videoing for me, so I'm trying to figure the most comfortable way of doing it. The next books are all Christmas related except for one. One is a Hanukkah book, and these are easy readers, but I really like reading some of these books to Matthew because, 1, I've never read them. 2, I have 6 grandchildren, and I would love to read to them as well, or recommend books for them to read in the future. And so these are books I've never read before. So the first one is A Christmas Tree for Pine by Oliver Dunray. This was a beautiful, simple book. The illustrations in here at first I didn't care for too much. Not that I didn't care for, but there wasn't like a wow factor for me. But this is about a little girl and her father, and he's very quiet and gruff, and all she wants is a Christmas tree, and it's just a beautiful story. And at the end, this is what their Christmas tree looks like. We try to do a project in this book because, and I'll show you in a minute. You see, these are pretty simplistic illustrations, but when they get in the middle of the book, when they go out in the snow, it's just gorgeous. What we tried to do a project with this book, we were going to do watercolor trees on a card. And so I don't have any palettes of watercolor. All I have is watercolor pencils, and I've never used them before, and I'm not used to them. I honestly don't like them. So we have to go to the store and get some watercolor paint. And I really still want to do this project with the trees and the snow with watercolors. But we just really enjoyed the illustrations in this book. And at the end, you know, she keeps calling him Papa, and he keeps reminding her, my name is, we believe it's called Hubert, but I don't know. You could call it Otter, but Hubert is what we called him. And so the really cool thing about this is throughout the book, she keeps calling him Papa, and he's like, you know, my name is Hubert, and then she goes back and calls him Hubert, and then at the end, she thanks him and says, thank you, Hubert, and he's like, my name is Papa, which is really cute. And but we really enjoyed this book. The next book we read were The Three French Hens, and this is by Margie Palatini and Richard Egileski. We thought this was a really cute book as well. Basically, it's the concept of the 3 French hens. Their true love sends them, they send them to their true love. They get misdirected. They end up going to America, and they go to, so they translate the name Philippe Renard to Phil Fox, and so they look him up in the phone book. They go to his house. Now he is a lonely fox. He's all by himself, and they knock on the door, and he thinks he's gonna eat these hens, and it turns into a twist. And at the end, you know, they do everything for him because they were sent by his true love. And he keeps saying, I don't have a true love, and they all became friends at the end. And it's a really cute story. We really enjoyed it. And the fox had a friend named who's a cockroach, and at the end there's a parade, and that's how it ended. But it's a really cute book. Definitely you should pick that up for your kids. The next thing that we read was Mary Poppins. Now this is a easy read. We have never read the chapter book, and and I did check out the chapter book, but I wanted to introduce Matthew into the easy read, just so he can be familiar with the story. I am trying to find the 1964 version of Mary Poppins, which is what I grew up with. I didn't really care for the way it was written, the book, but the illustrations were really nice and sweet. And Matthew thought, I mean, he didn't really get into it. We just kind of read it. But hopefully we can dive more into the chapter book. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch the 1964 version, read the chapter book, and hopefully by then we can have access to the current movie that's coming out. We don't usually go to the movie theater because it's pretty expensive. So that's what we read. This is a book that we just read. Excuse me. It's called Zelda and Ivy One Christmas. This was really sweet because it talks about, and they're all foxes, and it talks about two little girls, and they have a neighbor, Miss Brownlee, and she recently lost her husband, and they make her a Christmas present, and they take it over to her on Christmas Day, and the secret elf gives the two girls their presents, and they're so happy, and I just thought it was really sweet. So if you know, and I thought it was a good thing. We don't know any neighbors in our neighborhood that are older and live by themselves, but we have in the past. So if you have an elderly neighbor and you know that they're going to be spending Christmas or any holiday by themselves, you know, a simple card or a simple hello, you know, can brighten anybody's day. So hopefully next year we'll like do something nice for maybe at the you know, the elderly home or the assisted living home, you know, maybe doing Christmas cards and taking them over there. I didn't think about it, but it is something that I've been wanting to do, and I think it'd be a great, you know, it'd be a nice project for the kids to do, because next year I will be homeschooling Matthew and my 6th grader. Well, he'll be 6th grade in that next year, and I think it would be a good service project for them to do. But I thought it was really cute. And one of the things that my son got a kick out of here is they are sleeping in their beds waiting for Santa Claus. And right here it says, "Let's pretend we're sisters," said Ivy. "We are sisters," said Zelda. "I know, but it's more fun to pretend," said Ivy. And so we were laughing about that. And I was telling Matthew that he should tell his brother, "Let's pretend we're brothers," and see what he says. But we thought that that was really funny. And the last book that we read, and I apologize for the glare, I'm trying to not get that glare in there, is The Hanukkah Mice. And this is a really neat book, and it's a great introduction to Hanukkah. It doesn't really explain what Hanukkah is. So I did go online and try to explain it to Matthew, and he was like, "Oh, okay." So it is something that I would like to explore in the future of different religions. So this was a cute little picture book. I didn't care for the illustrations too much, but it was a cute story. And it's about a little girl and her family, and, you know, lighting of the candle, and, you know, every day she gets a present. And the first day is a big dollhouse, and then every day after that she gets a piece of furniture to put in the dollhouse. And then the mice, they move in, and then she starts adding, you know, food and whatnot into there. And at the end, she gets a miniature menorah and she puts it in the house, and then the mouse family celebrates Hanukkah themselves. Didn't care too much for the illustrations. I don't know how old this book is, but I thought it was a good introduction to, you know, just tipping your toe into what Hanukkah is. But like I said, it doesn't give you a really deep down discussion of what it is. But you know, Matthew did ask questions, which is a good thing, and we did look it up, and he was like, "Oh, okay." So, but like I said, I would like to extend that conversation later on in the future, and hopefully that'll be something that we can do, you know, when my other son, Benjamin, joins our homeschool next year. But those are the books that we read for the beginning part of December. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said November. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely recommend Pigs Might Fly as a read aloud. It's such a cute story. But other than that, oops, I'm sorry. Other than that, that's the end of my video today. So please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy these videos. You guys have a wonderful day. God bless, and I will see you next time. Bye.